Hello.
Hi!
Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday!
And it's the OG.
The OG Dynamic
Duo.
Duo.
Welcome
Woohoo!
back, Nancy.
Thank you.
Happy to have you here.
I'm so glad to be here.
I have loved my fill-ins, but I've missed you too.
Yeah, I miss doing it.
I know. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's Wednesday, and it's Dynamic Duo Day, and we have a demo planned and, of course, a deal to go with it.
Absolutely. So, Stencil Butters, 25% off December 13th and 14th. 25% off. So what is a stencil butter, you ask? Well, we can tell you all about that.
Creamy goodness in a jar.
It's pretty dang awesome stuff.
Yes.
So
I said to somebody the other day, well, what do you do with your stencil butters? And she says, well, I collect them, and they look lovely in my craft room.
That's probably my first thing, yeah.
I mean, come on.
Oh,
They are lovely.
they're glorious.
They do add color to my craft room, too.
They do. I actually store mine upside down so you can see
Yeah,
the
me
colors.
too.
So
I
I
have
have them in a drawer.
Yes.
And then I open the drawer and there's this lovely rainbow of goodness right there.
I do that with my embossing folders, too. Everything's
Yes.
upside down, so
Yes.
it's just like,
Oh, I can see the color right away. I don't have to paint the top. I don't have to do anything. Just
no. Store them
there they
upside
are.
down.
There they are.
We love stencil butters. I also love the fact that they have great longevity.
They really do.
I-
I've had some of mine years and they're still good to use.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I do recommend still with most pastes that you open up, it doesn't hurt to add that bit of press and seal around it. Just keeps the air out of it
Yeah.
a bit more. Keep the lid on when you're not using it.
Yeah.
So when I open it up, I take it out and then I put the lid back on. And then
betcha.
if I need more, I take some more out with my palette knife. So
Yeah.
you just want to prevent extra air to any
Yeah.
of your pastes or your butters for sure.
For sure, for sure.
Okay, so yeah, so we have a deal on the Dynamic Duo, that stuff. We have a deal,
Stencil butters.
and we have a lot of options in the store. We have a large selection of colors right now, too.
We have a lot. We have a lot. And then, of course, there's just the plain old stencil butters, which are pretty darn not
Yes.
so plain. But then we also have these Stardust butters, which are glorious. And they come in pearl white, opalescent white, champagne, and rose gold.
That rose gold is lovely, too. Might have
I
to
think
come
there's
home
even
with
a
me
silver
today.
metallic. I might not have them all.
not
But
sure.
you should take a look. Cause
Yeah, we have a
really-
great selection right now.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right.
so we're going to play. If you have questions, post them in the comments. We will try to answer them as we go. We have a variety of things to demo for you.
Yep.
But yeah, if you have another question or suggestion, throw it in there and we will do that. Diva Duo Deal for short. Yes, thanks, Jennifer. It is a tongue twister.
Diva Duo Deal demo.
Yeah.
Duh.
I know, that's how I feel when it gets tangled in my mouth like that. Like, what? Okay.
So in store, just as a reference, we have this beautiful board that's been prepared for us to show you all sorts of different ways to use your stencil butter. So we will be talking about probably most of them actually in the long run. Sponging, brush stroking it on. This one's a palette knife. It holds texture beautifully. I'm going to talk about bubble your butter.
Bubble it.
Bubble it. And of course through a stencil, like, duh.
It's my number one favorite way to use the stencil butters.
It really
in the case.
is.
So we are talking primarily about stencil butters today, but just so you know, any of your other pastes, your lunar paste, solar paste, we've got some of the paper glazes left, I believe, as well.
Yep.
They all work the same. So
Very
get
similar.
out your pastes and the butters and have some fun. Yeah, have a wet wipe handy because there's a little bit of cleanup.
Do we have a wet wipe
Oh,
handy?
we have them loaded up at the demo bar.
Okay, good, because I was using them up last night in my room.
And Julia is going to flip the camera for us. Yes, thank you. Hello, everybody. Merry Christmas. Ho, ho, ho.
Thank you.
Oh, thanks, Jennifer. Yes, this is one of my favorite colors. Jennifer said this is a lovely color. She likes your blue as well.
We look good today.
We look great.
We're amazing.
We know that.
Okay. So
Wait
I
a-
decided to focus on Christmas because Christmas is coming. And the shimmery, shiny, it all just kind of really goes. It doesn't mean that stencil butters are for Christmas. Please don't think that. But I just wanted to show a couple things that I did. So there's our wood chips.
So you can buy these bulk in the store.
Yeah.
Sell them
And we
singly.
even already have the little hole in the top so you can make a little Christmas ornament
This
out of it.
is so cute, Nancy.
Thanks. So I just used a stencil. We have this in stock right now. Let me see if I can find the package.
And
It
how
is-
easy.
Yeah, so this is the Graceful Snowflake stencil set, and I was quite surprised when I opened this. I know we're talking butters, but I just want to show this because I was like, oh, cool. I didn't know I got all that. So you get this sweet background stencil, and then these two as well in there. And you can see I've loved them with Stencil Butters because they're all shimmery.
That's a big stencil set.
It is a big stencil set. I was quite surprised when I opened that up. I was thinking $14.95. I thought I got that. And then I got these and I was like, score! Mm-hmm. But anyway, so I will demo a little bit with that. But this one is just that on the edge. Just boop, with a bit of the platinum
Oh my.
stencil butter.
That's, yeah, so pretty. That's a nice one.
Yeah.
I love that color.
Yeah.
Okay. What else did you make, Nancy?
I tried it on some vellum. So if you have seen, there's a couple of products in here that I worked with. So, of course, this is our Prism foil cardstock in black. Okay, and then I used the Concord and 9th ornament stitch and stamp set die. So this is just the die, and you can stitch, but as you can see, you don't need to.
Especially when there's pretty goodness in behind, too.
Right? So, because the stencil butter was just, I just did a whole sheet of vellum with the background, this background, and then you can cut it down. So I've got another piece here that I can still add to a different card.
Oh, lovely. Oh,
Right?
and you used it on, did you say that?
I said use it on the Prima Christmas Market.
Nice.
Vellum.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And then I just did same stencil, same stamp set.
On white here,
On
though,
white,
right?
yeah. But I actually, this is the inside of
here.
the die, the Spellbinders die poster set, and that's the outside.
So it created a frame on this card
Yes,
front.
I did. I was pretty tricky yesterday.
Sparkly.
And then finally, I did this, which is a couple of techniques, and maybe I'll demo that one. I don't know. I'm not sure what Heather wants to demo yet, so we're going to have to.
We're just going to go with it.
We're
This is
gonna
a
wing
gorgeous color, too, Nancy. What color is this one?
That one was sea glass, believe it or not.
Beautiful.
So sea glass is a Christmas color.
Yeah, lovely. Easy. And it adds just a great way to add some texture and dimension to your project, just stencil butter.
Just a little
And you
bit,
just need
yeah.
a couple tools. Let's just talk about tools really quick, too.
Sure,
So
let's do that.
If anybody has not purchased these items before or played with stencil butters, what do you need? So we suggest things like palette knives, of course.
Right, so what I would do is if I was going to do
Lots of options for
something
palette
like
knives.
that,
Yep.
then I would get my paper ready.
And these are the paste kind of spreaders, too.
Right.
Stencil Pal, and then the Crafters Workshop multi-purpose tool. Okay. So while we're talking about the tools, Nancy's going to do a little demo.
Okay, so I would get my paper ready, and then I would get out a palette knife or a spatula. So this one is a perfect set because it's got everything you need.
So this is the Simon Hurley paste tool set. Love this one because it's an all-in-one for sure.
This is your Deco Foil Stencil Pal. As you can see, I love mine. But I'm going to give this one a go. This is the Crafters Workshop. So this one is actually pretty much made for spreading your butters.
Spread the butter.
It's called the butter spreader.
Not to be confused with your kitchen
No,
butter
don't do that.
spreader.
Don't do that. So I'm going to get it out. And so how I do it is I'm going to get my paper, and then I get my, thank you, get out my stencil, and just kind of place it on. I'm not going to worry. You can, if you want, pixie spray it. I'm not that concerned because what I find what happens with the stencil butters is they're thick. So as long as this stencil doesn't move, I'm going to get a clean image.
Yep.
So I'm just going to daub some down. Just put some down. Notice it's not that hard. I'm not overthinking this at all. Now I've got my butter spreader. I'm just going to move it around.
Yeah, this is a great tool, especially if you're doing a large background, right?
Right. So as I'm doing this, I'm noticing there's holes. So depending on, like if you're doing a mixed media background, we always say don't worry about that, right? But I kind of, in cards, I feel that things are a little bit more precise, and I wanted to make sure to fill it. So I will kind of pick up some of the excess and then re-smear it in a different corner until I feel like it's covered. But it's heavy enough that once I've started, there's not a lot of movement. The stencil just sort of stays in place. So I can just, and if I need to add a little bit more, I can do so.
So satisfying too, watching it.
It really is. And then just gonna
pick up the extra.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick up the extra, just a light over scrape, because I don't want to catch the stencil by over pushing into it.
Nope.
But I definitely want to get up that excess, and then I can just take this off my palette knife, put it back into my jar.
No waste.
And then, oh yeah, don't waste this gorgeousness. And then of course you just slide your press and seal in there.
Throw the lid on and you're good to go.
So, peeling this back, I want to do it a little bit carefully. What I did find yesterday that can happen is I can accidentally, like if I kind of have a twitch, I can shift it and cause problems. The other thing is you want to make sure you're working with a clean stencil. So between these, you're going to want to wipe up your stencil. So if I'm going to do 3 or 4, I'm just going to peel this off just like that. And I got this beautiful background
Gorgeous.
to cut into. Okay, so now that I've used this, there could be bleed through, so I'm going to make sure to clean this up so I don't end up messing up my next image.
And because it's a paste, it does dry pretty quick, so you don't want to leave this paste on your stencils for too long. Even if you're in the middle of something, you're going to be doing a couple layers or a few things, so that, you know, it kind of ties up your time. Just spray this with water too.
Yeah.
You can give it a quick wipe until you can get it to your sink to wash it. Or you have something called like a stencil bath in your craft room. So just like a tray with some warm water in it, and just set it in there for the time being.
Yep.
If you do have paste that dries on here, we of course recommend our trusty scrubby soap.
And it's amazing.
It's amazing for helping to get the dried on paste off your stencils.
Great.
Another great reason to own scrubby soap.
So that's through a stencil, simple dimple.
Yeah.
So now let's just say, I'm just going to quickly show. See this over here? I've got a little over
spread.
Yeah. So now I'm thinking, okay, it's imperfect, so I'm going to make it more imperfect. And one of the ways, and kind of do the mixed media imperfection love, and I'm going to bubble it.
Ah.
So actually, I'll bubble the one I did, because I think the longer it sits to dry, the less likely it is to bubble.
Oh. So you want to do that when the paste is still fairly wet, hey?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's not an immediate. What did I do with the one that I did? This one. Okay. So this is what I'm talking about. So it actually looks really cool on some of the snowflakes to bubble it. So all I'm doing is I'm holding my heat tool close. Until I start to see it bubble. So if you're concerned about fumes, it is a technique that the Crafters Workshop does endorse with this product, but I also would say if I was concerned about fumes, there is a smell that comes off. There's some off-gassing. So you might want to do it in a nice open,
ventilated area.
Yeah, yeah. So there's the embossing guns that run hotter. This happens way faster, but you can start to see it happening.
It bubbling
there. So see the bubbles on those snowflakes? It just adds just another whole
dimension to it.
Total coolness.
Where's our
this one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like Nancy was saying, she was bubbling that. So this is the butter spreader, and then once you take a heat tool to it. So that'd be super cool, like if you use the platinum color, any of the kind of the sparkly pearly ones for snow or something. That's awesome.
The other thing I did was I just smeared a bunch on a piece of paper, and then I discovered imperfections when I was done. So I bubbled that part and it kind of hid it. I don't know if I can find it now. Here it is. So yeah, so it didn't get some great smooth finishing, so I just bubbled it just to sort of, and now I can cut into this however I want.
So die cut, you can die cut some shapes out of
Yeah.
this, sentiments. That's another great way, is to just create a background with it.
You betcha.
For sure.
Yeah.
Same thing goes, like, if you want on the edges of your card panel, just put a bit of the paste down the edges. And then, you know, you put your card panel on top, then you've got this beautiful burst of shine and shimmer to it.
Yes.
You can just show that too. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're a bit addictive to do, for sure.
Definitely. That's why I have so many samples.
I'm just going to show a couple samples here, and then we'll get ourselves prepared for another demo.
You betcha.
So this is just a regular ink blended background, and then I had a snowflake stencil, I believe from last year. I believe this was a Lawn Fun one from last year. And just went through it with one of like the pearly Stencil Butters. And then I could just, you know, add this to my card front, sentiment, whatever. Just super easy. And it is one of my favorite ways, definitely, is to use my butters through a stencil. Okay. This, I believe, was chartreuse, I think, stencil
It looks
butter.
like chartreuse to
And
me.
I did it through a stencil on a piece of Duralar. So, which is just like the clear plastic. It's like an acetate, but more
So you didn't use two
versatile.
colors on that?
Nope.
You just used one. So that's just the level of amount of color difference. That's so cool.
And then this sentiment, I had taken one of the pink stencil butters and just swiped it across a piece of cardstock, something similar to this.
Yeah.
And then die cut out the word. So that's also stencil butter.
Glorious.
Okay. This one here was a stencil butter through a stencil again. I think we showed this. I think we showed this on another demo. Yeah, so you get that bit of shine too. Same thing. This was a stencil butter on an ink blended background.
Gorgeous.
I mean, I just love them.
Gorgeous.
So I thought I had these alcohol ink panels, so I thought maybe we could just do some stencil butter through a stencil over that, perhaps. So if you've got backgrounds kicking around, that's a great way to use them. This was one of the cards, I think from the fall issue of Creative Scrapbooker magazine I had done. So you can see that bit of shine there, especially when you move it around. That shiny part is a stencil with stencil butter and the paste. Nice. This is actually a Simon Hurley lunar paste. Same idea, especially when you get those pastes with that bit of mica in them. Just gorgeous shine.
Yes, yes, yes.
Right? And then this one here. So also, again, this is a... this one is actually done with a solar paste, so you get that total shimmer, especially when you hold it different ways. Yeah. Yeah, fun, fun, fun. So as you can see, definitely using them through a stencil is one of my favorite ways.
Definitely.
All right. Do you have anything else to show, Nancy?
I have tons to show.
Okay. Then I'm going to do a little demo with that on a 3... Ooh, I forgot about this one too. Definitely showed this one off before. But this was Stencil Butters, 3 colors just done through a stencil to create a card panel. Front.
Okay.
I love them.
Okay, so I got a couple of Learn from Nancy's, actually.
Learn from Nancy.
Learn from Nancy. So this is the foil. I did it on foil, and I think it turned out fabulous on foil. So this is the black foil. This is the pearl white stardust on the holographic. This is the champagne one, so that's this one on the holographic. And then I did black with the sea glass, and I think they look amazing. And the thing is I'm not going to use the whole thing. I'll just cut out a panel, and then I could even cut some tags out of the other ones or whatever. But I just want to show, I was trying to do something that will work. However, it requires patience. Which I didn't have. Okay, so I did the stencil butter background, which is where you just smoosh out some stencil butter on a piece of paper. Okay, then I wanted to stencil over another layer on top of the stencil butter. So, but because I didn't let it dry, the stencil grabbed it and pulled it back.
Yeah.
So I can probably use bits and pieces of this and cut it out into little tags or circles. But I just wanted it to be very clear. If you're going to layer or emboss, that's another trick.
Yes, this is an embossing folder.
Yes. I would suggest make up your stencil butter backgrounds and leave it even overnight.
Yep, to dry.
To dry.
They're always best to dry
Because
naturally.
even the top layer could be dry, but that doesn't mean the under layers are dry. So it could be dry to touch, but it's still movable. So even up till bedtime last night, I probably could have bubbled this still. So just wanted to have a learn from Nancy moment.
No, it's good. I mean, we all learn. That's how we learn, right? We generally learn the hard way. I'm going to pick up some of this stencil butter. This is sea foam. I'm going to actually just kind of go in with a foam dauber here. Just going to pick some up, get a little layer on there. You could also, in turn, take some out with your palette knife and put it on your splat mat too. Okay, and then pick it up from there.
Yes.
I'm going to do that. Leave that aside. Close it up. And this is a raised embossing folder. I believe this was maybe a 3D embossing folder, I'm not sure. But when I have it just on a sponge, I have more control over how much I'm applying. So I'm just going to kind of lightly rub over that embossed image. And by doing it this way, I'm not using a knife, so I'm not pushing it into the background of this. I am just skimming that raised image of the embossing folder too. So I'm going to pick up a little bit more. So with the felt, I can actually even put some on like that, spread it around, whatever way you're comfortable with. And then as you can see there, see it's just picking up that raised edge. So now that plain white embossing, embossed panel now has a hint of shimmer and shine to it. So this technique will work with all of your pastes and butters. I could even add another layer to this once it's dry. It looks pretty light on there. There. Pretty easy. If you were to do your paste in your embossing folder and then put it through your machine, you would definitely push that paste through all of the layers of the folder. So this is an easy way with a lot of control for you there.
All right, I'm just working off camera right now to get ready to show you something else.
I will take a pre-made background. Just, actually, I think Julie and I used this a couple weeks ago when we did a demo. I'm going to lay a stencil over this one. And let's use a few colors on this. It's going to show how to use that other part of the Simon Hurley. Get the paper towel ready. Sorry, Nancy. Well, Nancy's working off the side here. Okay, so this is where this guy comes in really handy. So the spreader here. So we can actually add. So pick up some, use your knife. Pick up a few colors. So I'm going to put some right on the edge. Okay. I'm going to clean that off. Just wipe it off. I'm going to pick up a little bit more here.
Sorry, I'm laughing because just to the side is a lot of these great Christmas displays, and I'm totaling them. They're flying everywhere. Shh. You didn't. I guess I didn't have to tell you that.
It's all perfect over here. There's no.
Yeah, there's no
errors.
No.
Okay, so I just picked up a few different colors. I've got them spread out there on the palette. Which spreader, I guess, right? That one. And I do normally like to tape my stencils down, but like Nancy was saying, because there is some weight to the paste, once you start, it kind of holds itself in place. I'm just going to drag it through. So you can see,
there's no harm in doing it.
You could even move your colors over. I'm just going to go back over it. It looks like actually I got a pretty good. And there is a little bit of bleed through on there, but not too bad. And then carefully pick it up.
At all. And look at those colors.
And the colors turned out pretty.
Oh my gosh, I tried to play with 3 colors. I didn't do very well.
And then I just like to clean up the edge before it dries. But if you do let it dry, you can. I've done that before, and then I just use my scissors to trim it off. Just those bits that have dried, easy peasy. So just a nice, easy way, especially using your spreader, to use a few colors at once too.
Okay.
I love that shimmer. Set that one aside. Probably should have a wet wipe handy. And now this, because I can't take it back into my jar like that, I would normally, actually, I have another background here ready.
Perfect. I'm ready.
I'm just going to hold it and spread it down on there. Because why not?
Because it's fun.
Yep, and actually I'm going to die cut out of that. That would make a really pretty die cut sentiment out of that guy. Okay.
All right. Those are
Clean
awesome.
up. Nancy's got something to show you. I'm just in love with these colors. My goodness.
Those are stunning. The color combo you picked is just glorious.
It's pretty. Okay. Sorry, Nancy. I've got
That's okay. We need to show that it takes a little time for cleanup. We need to spend the time on it. This isn't.
Yes.
I would say this is a meditative, enjoyable technique. Probably not a rushed.
because you don't want to drag your other projects through your piece.
Oh, because it spreads.
Yeah.
Almost as bad as glitter.
Okay, so I'm going to clean that up. Yeah. Sorry, Nancy. Oh, glitter. Yeah. It spreads almost as bad as glitter, but if you spill glitter, you pretty much should just move.
Move.
Just you're never getting rid of that.
You're going to use this again, or should I put it with the other one?
I'm going to put it with the other one. I'll wash it.
Okay. Where's our wipes?
I have to find a wipe, Nancy.
Okay.
When you think you're prepared.
Oh, here, I got some. So yes, the clean as you go becomes pretty important with this one. Or things can go awry quickly. Awry. All right.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to show how I would approach making this embossed image background card. So, I would start with just a normal piece of paper, and then just pick a color, any color.
Hi, Julie. Hi, everybody that's sticking around for us.
All you need to do is just
Let's
smear
pop it in,
some
hello.
down. I did see a
wipes are so
question.
easy, clean.
I did see a question on how would I smear it. This is exactly how. Okay, so again, I'd grab any one of our palette. You could use a palette knife, really. The issue with palette knives is they will leave texture. So if I want the texture,
It's fun.
it's really fun. But I'm looking for a smooth finish this time, so I'm not going to do that.
This is definitely good for taking your butter out of the jar and for
Yeah.
small areas. Yes,
betcha.
that's where a little pellet knife is a must.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my butter spreader, and I'm just going to evenly move a layer of this around to get decent coverage. Now, if I keep my spreader nice and clean, I shouldn't have too many wonky gouges or edges in the butter. But a little bit's okay. Isn't like it's never going to be perfect. So that is what I would leave and put aside overnight. I would not put this through my embossing machine or for cutting or embossing until this is dry, or you're going to end up peeling back a layer of paper and butter. Okay, so I'll just put that aside. So I already have one here that I did. So this one I did with, I can't remember the color.
Barn door?
Crimson.
Oh, crimson. Right.
Crimson. Thank you for saying barn door, because I remembered it was the other one. So I've already taken that pre-spread sheet of butter, and I've cut it with just a simple stitched rectangle die. Any stitched rectangle die, I'm sure we have something in stock to suit that, or any sort of or just cut a square. Really, I just wanted the stitched look. Okay, so the reason I'm doing it in this order is I want the embossing to go last. The one thing that I discovered very quickly when I did this was I cut it second, and the second time I ran it through my Big Shot, I found that it squished up the embossing just a little bit. Doesn't make it horrible. Obviously, it still looks good. But if you really want to maximize that embossed look, do it last. So emboss your cut image. So I'm just going to put that in there. and emboss it. So I'm going to kind of, because of the pattern, this is a kind of a ugly Christmas sweater pattern, argyle thing going on. I'm going to just try to make sure that it's nice and evenly centered on there. I can also tape that down. I wouldn't with an embossing folder. I just nicely sandwich that in. Bring in my big shot. Okay, now check my sandwich, because I always got to check my sandwich for embossing. Let's try this and this. I think this will work. Okay. Yeah, that'll work. So I'm going to go back and forth more than once, just to be sure that it's evenly covered, that I got all edges embossed. Yeah. And because I've saved the embossing for last, it should pop just that little bit more. Now, if I had done this last night, oh my gosh, that turned out amazing.
That's so pretty.
If I did this last night, the paint would transfer to my embossing folder, make a hot mess.
Yeah.
And I would have been very disappointed. So yeah, again, just leave that overnight to dry, and you've got this beautiful embossed stencil butter image.
So you can leave that there, Nancy. I'm going to use it for 1 second. I love it. Let's give them a closer look at this.
Sure.
So you get that pretty shimmer, because that's a stencil butter background.
Yeah.
Love, love, love.
You know what else I'm going to mention, just for the sake of it? If you want to take one of these pearl white stardusts, or any of the stardusts, you could mix them in and get a glimmer.
Yes, that's true. Them. Oh, so you could mix this with your crimson and get a more shine to it.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
When you're doing it. Anyway.
Absolutely.
Do I have anything you need?
I don't know. I'm going to leave the big shot out, because I have this same idea that Nancy did. I just had swiped on some stencil butter and let it dry quite some time ago, actually.
Yeah.
And you can tell for this, I believe I used my silicone, my Nuvo silicone knife for this, spatula for this, and I have some lines in there. So the one way to, omit that, obviously, is by using one of the butter spreaders. You betcha. These guys, then you wouldn't get those lines. But either or, just add some dimension, right?
Right.
So I'm going to use just the big shot for a second, and because these are just, I had small little bits of these different colors, I thought they'd be great for some die cut sentiments for card fronts. So I'm just going to put that, in.
This guy.
And I think we actually have just sold out of it.
Can I borrow yours?
Sure. Okay, good. I know where you can make some cards using this die.
Here?
Which I have to mention is my new take and make. There.
Oh yeah, baby.
So get a really pretty die cut sentiment out of a stencil butter background. Yeah. Anyways, so there are so many ways. I think a lot of people just jump to the stencil butter combination all the time.
Yeah.
But it is far more than that, for sure.
Yeah.
Do we have any questions?
Unfortunately, they went away. Well, we're trying to follow questions. I don't see anything right now. If I happen to come back and notice a question, we will definitely pop in and answer that. But as Heather mentioned, she has a great new take and make coming out, and we'd love to take a minute to show it off.
Just give a shameless plug to my
camera, or do you want to do it that way?
Oh, this is okay like this. I think everybody can see it. So this, I believe, is available now on the online store.
It is ready. It's ready to go.
So just a set of 5 cards in this take and make, and I'll give you a little.
Or within 5 minutes. I just realized I didn't publish it.
Oh, well, it'll be there soon.
Yes.
Yes, please. Kits are ready. So this is one of the cards. On this, you get to use it. I used an embossing folder on a piece of prism foil cardstock. I'm including 2 handmade wax seals in this kit. Amazing. And as you can see, there's a lot of die cut pieces. So did this take me forever to die cut for kits?
Yes.
Yes. But is it worth it when you can just sit down and put these together?
Yes.
Yes.
So what does the description say? It says knock off knock a task off the Christmas or your Christmas, but still take some crafty time for you. That's the idea.
With these 5 cards, 5-card Christmas take and make.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, those guys there. So if you're interested, you need to get some more Christmas cards made to give to your neighbors and friends and family, or get them in the mail. There is time. These kits are ready to go.
Awesome.
Yeah. Don't you just love foil and glitter on Christmas cards?
Those are so
Yes.
you. I love them.
Okay, so that's ready now.
Love them.
There's
love
my little
them.
plug for my new take and make, available now. Yeah, so I hope it is on the online store now.
Perfect.
Yeah, so I think we give you a good rundown.
Colors that we used.
Some of the colors that we used. Okay.
Platinum is my silver go-to.
Sea Glass, Nancy used. That's another gorgeous one.
Stormy is great for snowflakes.
Stormy.
Champagne.
And this one is called the Stardust Butter.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then my red was called Crimson.
Crimson. There's Pearl White. This is a Pearl White in the butter. I don't know if I actually used that one, but I love, love, love this one. This is an easy one to tint as well, so that's super fun about that one.
Show your trio.
Yeah, this is just so pretty. So Sunshine. Hello, Sunshine. Seafoam. Watermelon. So that's what I used on this guy here. This, of course, is the Crimson Nancy used. Love. Don't forget about the handmade snowflake ornament. That was fabulous. I think that's the same combination I used on this one as well.
Nice. So
Yes.
June Marie asked a question. Once this is dry, it will stay dry.
Yes.
Okay, so her question was, will it reactivate if I get it wet? No, this doesn't work like distressing. Once it's dry, it's dry. But it does like surface dry really quickly. So I could still potentially bubble anything she's done here, but yeah, it's there now. It is water based for good cleanup, and you could even add some water and paint with it, but yeah, it won't reactivate with water once it's dry.
Good question. Do we have any more questions before we head out of here? We can't tell. Thanks everybody that stuck it out with us. Generally some hiccups, some back and forth with this, but we try to get our message across and share some of our ideas with you. Do we have any more questions? We are just checking. Thank you so much, everybody. Hello to all of you that are joining us on the replay. We appreciate your time in joining us, and I guess it's see you next year at this point now.
I was wondering. I meant to check.
Hi. There.
See you next year. All right. So what are your New Year's projects? What do you want to see the dynamic duo do to inspire you in the new year? Make sure to drop us a note.
Yeah, give us some ideas. And of course, we have new product arriving all the time, so we're always anxious and game to play with that stuff too. But if it's just back to basic techniques on certain things, let us know. We are. Oh, Julia, what have you got?
Part
Julia's
of the club.
Nice.
part of the club.
And of course, the Paper and
Come
Ink
on in.
Boutique has sponsored the Why Not Win Wednesday prize pack from Creative Scrapbooker
She's a
Magazine.
VIP.
It just
VIP.
arrived. Look at me, I'm a VIP.
Yes, so anybody that doesn't know what that is, that's the Village of Inspired People through Creative Scrapbooker Magazine. It is a membership, a community that is jam-packed of content for a very, very small fee.
Really, it is. And you get presents.
Really awesome.
Like,
and
what's
you
that?
get a present.
6 months of continued
6 months.
membership. You get the apron.
Beautiful apron.
And then there's another one at 12 months, which I
And I
think
just
is supposed to be a
participated in the
surprise.
Christmas card exchange, and I think you're part of that too.
I did too, and it was fun. It was so
Yeah.
great to get mail.
Yes, happy mail.
Happy mail. It
Happy
wasn't
mail.
a bill or a addressed ad mail.
So be sure to enter in the Why Not Win Wednesday contest for Creative Scrapbooker Magazine. Again, the Paper and Ink Boutique have donated an amazing prize pack of mixed media goodness. Dina Wakely. Anyways, thanks again so much,
Thanks,
everybody, for
everybody.
being here. Happy holidays if we don't see you before.
And we'll see you in the new year.
Merry Christmas.